Awesome, exciting day. I know we have a lot to talk about. I know there's a lot of questions. The early signing day, some of the recruiting strategies have changed from the day that I took the job. Building on nothing but freshmen, we're going just from that plan a little bit because of some of the rule changes and situations that are transpiring as we go. Let's talk about roster management first so that we can, before we talk about the 11 kids we signed today, and intentionally left some spots. So the NCAA rules this year, there's no 25 cap on how many you can sign. What you can sign is you can't go over the 85 scholarship limit for total scholarships. Now, there's other stuff where schools are doing NIL scholarships for walk-ons and stuff, but that's not – we've got 85 scholarships just like every other school in the NCAA. If with the seniors that we had last year that exhausted eligibility, the 4 that exhausted eligibility that do not have a COVID year, that would leave us the ability to sign 4 kids. And obviously on a 2-10 team, you don't want to sign 4 kids. You need to improve talent every year. You need to out-recruit the talent on your team, as they're told all the time. And so in the transfer portal era, it works both ways. There was 2 kids that got in the transfer portal that I wish wouldn't have. I mean, obviously, A.J. Halsey is a really good player, had a great season, made a lot of All-American honorable teams. Cody Moon, in the last couple of days, decided that he felt he wanted a different opportunity that he thought would be better for him. Those 2 were what I would consider surprises. Not surprises in the fact that I didn't think it could happen, because I think I talked about it, after week 5, 6, and 7 about AJ, and after the Athletic article and all the attention he was garnering from that. All it's doing is putting a spotlight on him. And in today's world, people get into the ears of parents, coaches, 7-on-7 coaches, all those things. And, I mean, I think you guys saw Jeff Traylor put out a tweet yesterday from UTSA about what's going on in college football, and it is. And you know what? It is what it is. AJ thinks he can find a better opportunity, and that's okay. I'm a big fan of AJ Halsey. And Cody Moon's the same way. Cody's a New Mexico kid. Whatever he transpires and finds for himself, I'm happy for him, proud of him, and good luck. But the opportunity to create space on our roster, those decisions are made, and to be able to bring in more kids, and other than just the 4 that we would have been able to if it was based off of eligibility exhaustion, some of those things transpire. And so we've got an opportunity to bring in, with the 16 kids in the portal, we're bringing in the 10 or 11 that we signed today. 7 of them will be here at midterm. We have a scheduled visit weekend of January 4th through 6th, where we'll probably have 8 or 9 mid-year kids that we can still get enrolled before the semester starts on the 17th of January. So that is an extension of, with the transfer portal, that used to be a dead period, because the National AFCA Coaching Convention starts on January 6th. And we can have visits the 4th through the 6th, because there's kids that can get into school for the second semester out of the transfer portal. That's a new initiative this year. And then the dead period ends on January 13th. So we'll have more visits at that point. We could still get kids into school on the visit weekend of the 13th through 14th. So I'm looking at possibly having those 7 plus another 8 or 9 mid-year kids that'll be transfer portal kids, maybe 1 or 2 junior college kids that are they're qualifiers out of high school that have been at the junior college for 1 year that can leave and come at the mid-year. So there's still a chance of 8 or 9 mid-year kids. And then we have spots for currently right now 12 more, unless there's more roster changes to be able to add. I mean, there's schools out there. Arizona State's one of them. They've signed 33 kids today, which is, you used to have you could sign 25, you could oversign, and then they went to where you couldn't oversign. Well, they've eliminated the 25 cap for a 2-year period, this being the second year of it. And so there's plenty of opportunity to add guys. And then obviously with staff changes, having opportunities with guys to evaluate guys and bring guys in, especially at the semester with that extra weekend, is very valuable to a program. And so there's a lot of great things transpiring within our football program. Let's address Coach Long. Coach Long, what an unbelievable coach, unbelievable mentor to me, unbelievable in every aspect. Winning as coach in the Mountain West Conference, winning as coach in UNM history. He had a great opportunity at Syracuse where the system is already installed. And my best friend, Tony White, who did a phenomenal job there, who was with me at Arizona State, has set up Coach Long for a pretty good deal. Now they've had some kids hit the portal and do some of those things over the last couple of days. So there will be obviously some new teachings, but the coaches know it. Coach Long is really good at what he does, has been for a long, long time. And I am very, very fortunate for all the time that I've been able to spend with him, both here at San Diego State, here again, the time at Arizona State, being able to be able to talk to him on a weekly basis and still be able to talk to him. That won't ever change. He's the one who showed me how to do this business, showed me how to coach, and the opportunity he had, and he's going to make a whole bunch of money, was really good. And we had a great conversation about it. And I'm so excited for his opportunity. And I'm excited for the Lobos. And he will always be a Lobo. So that opportunity for him is really cool. And Dino Babers is a good friend of mine. And so we had a conversation early on. He tried to hire him in 2019 when Coach Long took this job. It wouldn't have been as easy without the system being installed. And so Coach Long's got a great opportunity to just keep going and building on what Coach White did already. And Coach White did a phenomenal job, and that's why he's now at Nebraska, and Nebraska was willing to pay a pretty good-sized buyout. So, that's really, really neat stuff. We'll have an OC here in the next few days. We've got some stuff going through HR that is not done. I had said I was looking for a guy that's been a head coach, that's experienced, has a system, and called plays. That was in a bowl game recently, so in not wanting to interrupt that portion of it, that'll be coming here in the next few days, and then we'll continue to address our program, and we'll continue to add guys. Like I said, we're anticipating another 8 or 9 potentially in early January before school starts to have all those guys for spring football, which right now we're planning on starting on February 13th. But this class, the 10 that we've addressed, these are kids that obviously there's a strong New Mexico contingency as well as El Paso. I think we got the best kids in New Mexico, obviously. Evan Wysong, obviously the Wysong tradition with Luke already on the team, and Evan being the Gatorade Player of the Year and state champion and all those wonderful things he does, and getting himself ready to go and challenge and try and beat Luke's track records here in the spring will be good for him. Nick Trujillo is a special talent. He's 6'2". He's as fast as Luke and Evan, which we'll see. They challenge that, and so seeing them compete in the spring will be really, really good. And then Aiden Armenta, he was in the top 5 in the country nationally for passing yards and all those things, and they scored a game where they scored 89 points and another game where they scored over 60. The numbers that they were able to put up offensively with Aiden at quarterback is unbelievable. And then we also got the Arizona Player of the Year in Devin Dampier, and that's another quarterback. So he will be here at semester. Gives him an opportunity to compete in the spring, which is really cool. He'll be an early enrollee as a quarterback freshman. So he'll be here in a couple weeks. If you had an opportunity to see on Twitter or watch the state championship game in the open division against Basha High School, he made some unbelievable plays. He brought him back in the semifinals, made some unbelievable plays to get him to that. So between Aiden and Devin, we've got 2 young high school quarterbacks that are really, really talented. And in the process of the next with the new offensive coordinator and opportunities to bring in an older quarterback, there's still opportunities for that. We added a couple offensive linemen. We added a tackle from Mississippi, Devin Smith, who's 6'6", 290. He's got really, really long arms. He was a multi-sport athlete in high school, basketball player, ran track, was not only a fielding event guy, ran track. Really, really good athlete. Long, another Mississippi Junior College product who honor student, great kid. Really excited about him. Matthew Toilolo is another guy in a similar build to Issei, Shanko Matuia. He is 6'3", 310 pounds. He might be a little bit heavier than that right now. He was a modern-day student that transferred to Utah and out of Orem, Utah. He will be here at mid-year, So we're really excited about having another opportunity at another offensive lineman, especially we won't have DJ Wingfield for spring ball, but we'll get DJ back about the middle of April, which is a significant climb for us. I mean, we got those guys up front, all back, which is exciting. And then we added a couple wide receivers outside of Nick Trujillo and Evan Wysong that they can take the top off. They had some really impressive numbers in junior college. Duke Miller from Mississippi, Alex Morrell from California. Both of those kids will have an immediate impact. And then we're still looking for potentially mid-year kids, 3 or 4 more wide receivers to come in here to give us an opportunity. And then we need to go a couple more tight ends with some size that we've got a few that we'll be really excited about. I mean, 6'5", 6'6" tight ends, which we haven't had around here for a little while. And then we took a couple safeties. Derek Moore is not on your guys' list right now. He's a young man out of Irvine. They just got the paperwork done. He's a 6'3", 190-pound safety that's as physical as they come. He'll look very similar to Tavian Combs. I think he's a really good athlete in space and can play. And then Skylar Cook is a young man out of El Centro, California, between just almost over there by Yuma. He is a physical, put-together. He's 6 feet tall, can run. Once again, multi-sport athlete. Those guys will have a chance to contribute in the secondary, and we've had success with some true freshmen. We're trying to get away from playing nothing but true freshmen like we have in the past couple of years because the speed of the game and the experience plays a significant factor. And I think junior college football, the amount of mid-year kids that are available and the opportunities that they have being 3 for 4, they're just like freshmen, but they have a year of football speed, of a game at a faster speed than high school. And so those guys are becoming very abundant because there's being so much time spent in the transfer portal recruiting that high school kids are getting neglected. And it's really sad. Now we're going to get some high school kids over the next couple weeks that I don't think we would normally get, guys like Christian Washington and A.J. Halsey that normally are recruited significantly higher by schools, Power 5 schools, that they just aren't spending time in high schools like they have. I mean, they're evaluating every roster in the country. All 131 FBS rosters are being evaluated by schools, and then the word gets out, and they get information to those kids. And Glover Quinn did a great job on Twitter the last couple of days explaining some of the things, and it's just the new way of college football. And it is what it is. That's okay. So if kids are going to leave and take them, then we just have to replace them. And we've had those ones. The ones that are leaving for different opportunities, the Codys and the AJs, we have to find guys in recruiting that are just like those guys. And then obviously offensively, score points. If you take away the special teams touchdowns or the pick six, the fumble return touchdowns, we average giving up just over 20 points a game. You should win a lot of football games giving up 20 points a game. Obviously not when you score 12. And so that is a big challenge for our football team and a great opportunity with what some of the changes that we're making. And the opportunity, the excitement for 2023 in our building is unbelievable. And the kids will be back on January 16th to get ready to go to work. We will, like I said, we'll have the anticipation is another 8 or 9 kids at the mid-year, and then that'll leave us a few spots for the February 1st signing date, which obviously has changed the dynamics. We're going to have a celebration at Salt Yard East tonight, not as a big celebration because most of those kids will already be practicing, and we'll have a few majority high school kids in the February signing class. So I know there's a lot of people out there over the last few weeks seeing a lot of kids getting in the transfer portal and wondering what's going on and all those things, and Coach G ain't saying anything. There was no need to say anything. I made a comment when Coach Long took the job at Syracuse that I was excited for him. It was a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for our program to continue to grow. Coach Long will continue to help this program continue to grow. And having a different voice on the offensive side of the ball will be very beneficial for our football program. And the opportunity to turn around the 2-10 season going into the 2023 season is really, really exciting. And September 2nd against Texas A&M is going to come really quick, a lot quicker than most people think. And I explained it to our kids last week. I mean, they're going to get time off until the 16th. We go about 4 weeks, and then we start spring ball on February 13th. Spring ball will end on March. We're going to have a Monday night football. The plan is right now on March 6th, and then we'll have a couple practices after that because our basketball team being a top 25, really, in my opinion, being a top 15 basketball team, and my opinion don't mean anything because I'm a fan, but being a top 15 basketball team and having a chance to win the conference tournament and have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, I don't want to do anything football-wise during the Mountain West Conference tournament because that's the focus around here is what Coach Pitino's got going on around here. I mean, that environment on Sunday was awesome, and having 9,000 people in the building last night was outstanding. So it gives me faith and belief and hope in our people that are still excited. It's about winning. And so September 2nd is going to come really, really quick because we're already through spring ball. That's March. The kids get spring break off to the 12th through the 19th, and then we get another 7-week cycle. And then on May 6th, they go away for finals, and then they're back on June 5th. We go 4 weeks. It's 4th of July week. We go another 3 weeks, then we start fall camp. So, I mean, those segments go so fast, and the opportunity to compete and do all those things is right around the corner. We'll get a couple days off here to recharge and have some fun here over the next week and a half with our kiddos. And then normally you don't have any visits or anything till the end of January, but January 4th we're going to have a big weekend here, and it's exciting. Now it's different because our campus is still a ghost town on January 4th. Most of the people aren't even working yet. So it'll be an inventive weekend. I mean, we'll be able to show them around and do all the normal things we do in our facility. We've got some great professors on campus that help us out during recruiting that are willing to come in during that time to meet with our prospects to show them what they're going to do academically and what opportunities we offer those kids, especially the transfer kids that are coming from another Division I school. And then doing all the things, having the weekend, having the kids over at the house, and all those wonderful things that we do will be a little bit different because then the next day I have to fly out to Charlotte for a FBS head coaches meeting and board of directors meeting and all those things. So it's going to be a busy time. So we'll have a great Christmas season here over the next week and celebrate with our faith and family and all those things. And but it's a really exciting time, and I know there's a lot of people, especially the outspoken ones on Twitter, which I said all the time, I don't avoid that stuff. I don't mind that stuff because it means they care. Even the ones that tell me is Coach G in the transfer portal. That's okay. That is okay because it means they care. And when they stop caring, they stop coming. And when they stop coming, then you're really in trouble. And there's some that have jumped off, and when we win, they'll jump right back on. And I'm really excited about the 10 we have today, and I'm really excited about the 8 or 9 that we have coming here in the first week in January, and the changes that we're making in our program to continue to go forward. That was a long opening statement, so I'll let anybody ask any questions that wants to, and I know I touched on a lot of subjects.
How steep is Evan Wyson's learning curve going from playing quarterback in high school to now playing slot receiver at the college level, trying to get open against the Mountain West caliber defensive backs?
He won't have any issue. I mean, he's athletic, he's fast, and he's a good football player. I mean, if you watch the majority of Evan's explosive plays were because of his feet, and he'll be able to do that. Obviously, a lot of people didn't think Luke could do it, and Luke showed what his capability is over the last 2 years. So Evan's stepping into that role, and Nick Trujillo in the same boat. Nick is, I mean, we were really worried about having to fend off Texas Tech for a long time, and I think Keith did a really good job with those guys now. They have an extensive relationship, which really helps in recruiting because that's what recruiting's all about. And I think Nick Trujillo is going to be a big time player for us over the next couple of years.
You mentioned that that you're going to officially name the offensive coordinator here in a few days. Mm-hmm. Will there be a scheme change offensively?
Oh, significant, yes. Mm-hmm. We won't be a triple team. We won't be diving into the world that we've dove in the last 2 years. There'll be a schematic change and very successful one.
So how did
you said there are 4 that won't be here at mid-semester?
The 4 that won't be here at mid-semester are the Evan, Nick, Aiden, and then the other one is Jaden Wilson, the young man from El Paso, who is very similar. Jaden Wilson is, I mean, he's one of those that we talk about, multi-sport athlete, played on both sides of the ball. He was first-team All-City running back, first-team All-City linebacker, 215 pounds coming in. I mean, him and Alex Marenko are in the same mold. and Alex played for us as a true freshman. Would have played significant time if Alex hadn't hurt his knee here. Jaden Wilson is in that same boat with ability. He also has a little brother that has Down syndrome, and him and Abby have become the best of friends. My daughter, so having them involved, their family involved in our program, just like every family that's involved. I mean, we have a great family dynamic culture, and Jaden. So those four won't be here for the midterm because they still have to graduate high school.
So how have the personnel changes kind of impacted recruiting this year?
Pretty significant. A big part of the reason that we have the 10 that we have right now are these are kids that we still determine can help what we're doing and how we're going to do it. The offensive coordinator spot, I mean, people were, we haven't seen any news. I mean, there was a reason behind that, and there's been some opportunity to have some impact on that and who we're recruiting and how we're recruiting. So those things always impact the decisions that are made, and they've been made for positive reasons.
And then just with new coordinator on both sides of the ball, I mean, do you kind of feel like you're starting fresh this year?
Offensively, not defensively. I mean, I'll call the defense on game day. I mean, no different than I did at Arizona State and what we did some of the time this year. This is going to sound egotistical, but I was very fortunate to be with Coach Mendenhall, Coach Long, Coach Patterson, and those guys, and Coach Long for the time that I was in this scheme. And then taking Tony White with me to Arizona State and having the opportunities that we did there that afforded him an opportunity at Syracuse, and Zach having the opportunity at Mississippi State. What we do on defense is really, really good. And Coach Long is obviously a really, really good teacher because all three of the guys that have come out of his umbrella have had really, really significant success at running this scheme. And a lot of people in the country really want to do what we do on defense. And my commitment to this program in this place is a big, because of what we do, and then fixing the other side of the football. Said you can hold people to 20 points. You should win a lot of games. You shouldn't win 2, and that's why we're doing what we're going to do on offense, and the changes are being made.
You will hire a defensive coordinator.
I will promote from within. Yeah, it's one of those things that'll be done here in the next few days. Announced. Troy Effort's been the defensive coordinator here before. We got 4 good coaches on our staff. Jake Rossschiller did a really good job with Coach Long's guidance with the linebacking room. And like I said, Coach Long is a great teacher. And having the opportunity for Jake to sit in there with him, Coach Rossschiller, for 2 years, 3 years, that stuff's invaluable. And sitting in Coach Long's meeting room for 23 years, that stuff's invaluable. I mean, we've had success, the guys that have left Coach Long, because of the teacher he is. And so we will do that. But I've learned how to manage and call stuff. Coach Long was really good at that. So all those things are taken into account.
Devon Dampier, I think most of the media over there in Arizona, he's pretty much the consensus Arizona State High School Player of the Year.
And it's not even close.
So what dynamic is he going to bring to the offense, playing quarterback?
He's got arm talent. He's really, really hard to tackle. He's got unbelievable balance. But his personality and his drive, I think we have 2 quarterbacks in this high school class. What I saw Aiden do in our summer camp with a group of – so we have our summer camps, you can either bring a team or you can come as an individual. And if you come as an individual, we put together what we call a renegade team, guys from wherever. He took 11 guys and won our passing league tournament by his single leadership. Devin Dampier took his team to the state championship in the highest division in Arizona because of his leadership. He threw a pass that would have tied the game at the end of the game. The receiver was about 6 inches out of bounds. That was an unbelievable throw under pressure with the clock running out. Aiden had a 14-point or 21-point lead over Cleveland, and then Cleveland had, an unbelievable roll where they had the fumble that they returned. It changed the momentum of the football game. Those 2 young men are going to be they're so unbelievably competitive. They're such great leaders. I'm excited about both of them. I can't speak enough. We got the Mexico State Gator Player of the Year, the Arizona AP Player of the Year. Those 2 young men. And then obviously throw Evan in that mix with all his accolades. The 10 that we signed today, I'm really excited about those guys to come in and compete and build. Now, here you go. here we're at. They come in and they have a great year. See what happens. I mean, developing is a little bit, developing kids has changed a little bit. But they're here right now, and that's all that matters.
That's quite what you can say about Cody Moon. Several coaches have been very outspoken, and you mentioned them in your opening statement. Do you think there was tampering with Cody or AJ Halsey?
I'm not accusing anybody of tampering. What I'm saying is there's people out there that, there's agents that are talking to Cody, and that's not illegal. Agents can, as long as you don't sign anything, you can talk to people. Agents are talking to both of them because agents are smart now. They've changed some of the rules so that they can get involved with them earlier. And with the NIL, there's agents that can work NIL deals. There's a lot of companies out there that are signing high school kids. The Ewers kid, the quarterback at Texas that went to Ohio State out of high school, he signed a $1 million deal with a company because they're investing on him potentially being the number 1 draft pick in the draft in 5 years. Had nothing to do with Ohio State, had nothing to do with Texas, but that money followed him. So that's becoming a thing too. So I'm not accusing anybody of tampering, but I know those kids are being talked to about opportunities that people convince them. Now, and like I said, that's why I brought up Glover Quinn. Can you make it to the NFL from University of New Mexico? 100%. It's been done, and it'll continue to be done. The thing that some of these guys misinterpret, in my opinion, and this is nothing against them or anybody else, A.J. Halsey's put himself on the map at the University of New Mexico. A.J. Halsey was on every freshman All-American team. He was the only Group of 5 kid on those teams. 10 Power 5 guys and A.J. Halsey. So A.J. Halsey's on the map. Everybody in the country knows about A.J. Halsey. They know where he is. The opportunities that we gave A.J. Halsey here with where he played on the field put him on that map. Hopefully he gets that continued opportunity at wherever he goes. Because if not, all the work that he did goes backwards. Now, AJ's a very talented young man. And he's going to have an opportunity to do that for whoever else. If he gets the right opportunity in the right position and plays effectively, then all that thing will grow. But it could have grown right here. And I'm not saying A.J. Halsey was Brian Urlacher, because there's one Brian Urlacher in this world. Brian Urlacher was the 9th pick in the NFL draft from the University of New Mexico. So can it be done here? It sure can. Glover Quinn was an all-pro safety from the University of New Mexico. So the map is here. I mean, look at the basketball map right now with 3 undefeated teams. That half of that country, we're not getting enough credit. We should be even further east.
At least Louisiana.
There's no doubt. Do you like how I say we? I'm taking credit for all Richard's success. That we're on the map. And so we've developed Cody from where he was to where he is now. Thinks needs a better opportunity or a different opportunity. That's okay. Good luck. I'm a fan of New Mexico kids, and I wanted Cody Moon to stay here, but I'm not have any ill will towards. I'm proud of Cody for making a tough decision and to go and finding what he thinks is best for him, because it's about what's best for them. I tell our kids all the time in recruiting, this is not just a 4 to 5 year decision, and this Beach used to be better before the transfer portal. It's not really a 4 to 5 years commitment. This is a decision that affects the rest of your life, because the friends that you make in college are who you are best friends with for the rest of your life. And so it's a lifelong decision, whether it be education, whether it be what it transpires to. Well, now it's a 1 year decision because they can pick up their football and go home, or you can tell them they need to take their football and go home. All those things have changed significantly. So take advantage of the opportunities you have, and we're going to develop them. We're going to continue to develop them as long as we have them. And if we develop them for somebody else, guess what? That's okay, because we did our job benefiting the young man and getting him to a better spot than he was when he got here. Now, we better start winning some dang football games, or we won't develop him here. I'll be doing it somewhere else. But my plan is it hasn't changed. The plan of how we're going to do it and build it with freshmen, that plan has changed a little bit, because A.J. Halsey's not going to be here for 4 or 5 years. He was here for a semester. So you adjust and continue, and that's okay.
I'd like to hear you talk about our mental skill set. We've seen him play here, but I'd like for you to talk about it and like how he'll fit into the new scheme.
his release is unbelievable. His accuracy is unbelievable. Just get on Huddle and watch his highlight tape, which is, I mean, it's like a game tape. And where he puts the ball, how he reads coverages for a high school kid, is far above most high school kids. That's why he's top 5 in the country, in the nation, in high school in passing yards. Now, like I said, they had a couple games, one where they scored 89, 60-some in the state championship game. Those helped, but it wasn't like it was 89-20. It was with West Mesa. I mean, that was an 89-70 something game. That was a competitive game late in the football game. So those yards were needed. Those touchdowns were needed. His arm talent is special. He's 6'3". I mean, we've got a LaQuavi kid on our football team. That's exciting.
There's a philosophical shift with recruiting because it's the Wild West from the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even possible to build a program these days by focusing on high school kids? It's almost like you become a feeder system.
A little bit. We are. Which, I mean, I'm giving Glover a lot of credit today, man. He's going to have to give me some feedback on this. Glover made a comment about, everybody's saying, well, coaches do it all the time. Coaches don't get in the portal and hope that they get a job. You either get fired or you get hired before you leave your current job. Some of these kids are just hopping in the portal to see what they can get. And there was conversations of, and I tell our team all the time, this is not one of those deals, and this is just my opinion, the other coaches allow it. This is not one of those deals where you go shop yourself around, see if you can find a better girlfriend, and then come back if you don't. I don't believe in that. Can you build a program? Sure. Look at our league, though. Our league over the last 3 years has lost a lot of the best players in this league. So what does that mean? That means everybody's on equal ground. We're a very competitive conference. From top to bottom, we're very, very similar. 8 of the 12 games, we had an opportunity at the end of the third quarter to win the game on a 2-10 football team. You shouldn't have, it shouldn't be that close. Okay, obviously, 13-6 halftime against Fresno. They scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Okay, 21-10 against San Diego State, and we gave up a 3rd and 14 and missed a corner route to make it a 1-score game. And then Air Force, it was 14-0 at halftime. It's 28-3 at the end of the third quarter because we give up 2 more long runs. The other 11 games, LSU was 17-0 at halftime. So I know people get frustrated saying, well, we're not a competitive team. I disagree. We weren't good on offense, and so we weren't able to win games because we weren't able to score points, especially in the second half. You give up 20 points a game, you should win multiple games. And so we're not far away, as awful as that sounds and as seems being 2-10. The change on the offensive side of the ball will dramatically help and give us some excitement and going into playing Texas A&M in 250-some days.
I was aware of 11 kids' logos in the portal. I think you said there were 16.
I can. Let's see, I'll count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, a couple of these kids were kids that were already in the portal. Adriel Barney was in the portal from a long time ago. Let's see another one. Conte Lanier was in the portal a long time ago. JD. There's a bunch of them that were earlier on, but they go on the count right now. Like I said, we had 2 surprises, AJ Halsey and Cody Moon. The other ones were opportunities for them and for our football program and for our roster management to be able to recruit talent and being able to bring kids in. If the new rules had not applied to this class because of the, and a significant part because of the extra COVID year that a lot of these kids have received, the kids that exhausted eligibility were 4. You want to have a class of 4 kids? No, I don't. And so they're not easy decisions, but they're decisions that to be able to replenish your roster and get more talent so that obviously we're not staring at 2-10. Those are things that happen, and it's just the new way of college football.
Some kids have withdrawn from the portal. Are you saying that no, once they're gone, they're gone? That includes AJ and Cody?
There's always decisions that can be made. I don't foresee them coming back, but heck, you never know. Cody Moon, you never know. I tell our team, I've told our team, and I've been pretty. It's funny. Me and Coach Long had this conversation all the time. I've been really, really strong about guys. If you want to enter the portal, good luck. You're no longer a Lobo. I mean, you decide whatever you want to do for you. But I'd also said hadn't been put in a position like AJ or Cody yet. Well, they've happened now. And so, I mean, when Aaron decided to go last year, it was good luck. I mean, whatever you find, you find. Good luck. Some of the others the same. So that's been my stance. And I guess you can always make exceptions that don't plan on it, but those guys are good players. So there is a difference in re-recruiting your team, I guess. I hate that term, because if you're having to re-recruit them, it means you don't have relationships with them. And I think we've got a bunch of great relationships on this team with our players. I talked to a couple guys today that just how are they doing it on break at home? What are they getting ready to do for Christmas? I mean, that don't mean you're re-recruiting your kids. That means you have a viable relationship with guys on your football team. And I think that's the misconception of re-recruiting your kids. If you're re-recruiting them, that means you haven't done a very good job of talking to them all year long. I mean, we have a great family dynamic in our program. And so those conversations are normal, typical conversations. It's not re-recruiting.
Coach, I know Quincy Black has been very verbal as well.
He jumped on Glover's thread, yes.
He was here just 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Out of a junior college out of Chicago.
I remember signing a $56 million deal with the Buccaneers after his contract ran out, his first contract. Coach, I know New Mexico has always been walk-on university to a certain degree. How is this going to affect walk-ons? I mean,
it doesn't. You can still only have 85. That means we've still got, now we can have 150 on our roster, so we still have 30 spots for walk-ons. And we've got a bunch of walk-ons on our team that either contribute on special teams or scout team. So those opportunities will continue. We will continue to recruit walk-ons to our program. There's a couple young men here in the city of Albuquerque that I've already talked to about coming and taking the Cody Moon route and walk on and prove you can play. And I'll give you a scholarship and I won't give you one. You'll earn a scholarship if you prove that you can play and help us win. That won't change. We will continue to have a great walk-on program because you need those guys for multiple reasons. One, they're good for the culture of your team because most of them are hardworking, great young men. You need to be able to develop kids that you might have missed in evaluation. We took a strong class from New Mexico this year. What's hard about New Mexico, the football's getting better, okay? The elite talent in New Mexico, the Aiden Armentas, the Nick Trujillos, the Evan Wysongs, I don't want to leave one of them out. I mean, which one did I leave out? I said Aiden, right? Yeah. Aiden, Nick, Evan. Luke was in that boat. As you're evaluating them, a lot of times those guys are so much better than everybody else, it's hard to get a true evaluation. And the elite talent, when they come in July and they get in the mix with all the kids that we recruited from Texas, California that are the same caliber, and the New Mexico kids have done a phenomenal job at this. You really see who are competitors and who are not. When I was at Arizona State, we had a very similar deal. The elite talent of Arizona. Now, Arizona's one of the top 8 metropolitan size areas in the country. But the elite talent in Arizona to the second level is such a drastic drop-off that a lot of times the elite kids of Arizona really struggled with all the other kids that we brought in from the California, Texas, and nationally because they're not used to going against that same competition. And in a state of just under 2 million people, as opposed to when we were at San Diego State or when I was at Arizona, you have a gas tank of 15 million people within a gas tank of gas. The competition level changes. And so I'm really proud. I mean, our best kids from really since I've been here now and the time that we were here before under Coach Long's regime, our best kids were New Mexico kids. They stepped up to the talent and competition level pretty quick. Now, we were able to develop them for 4 or 5 years. And by their 4th and 5th year, they were great NFL players. Well, that's changed a little bit. Obviously, Cody Moon's leaving. It's changed a little bit. So I'm not changing my mode on the New Mexico kids, because there's still 4 or 5 every year that can help this program. And some of them will stick to the longevity of the developmental plan, and we'll see what happens.
With the second wave of prospects coming in here in January, what is the any focus on any particular?
Tight ends, defensive linemen, wide receivers. That'll continue to be the focus for that. I would say it'll be a mix of transfer portal guys and 3 for 4 transfers, guys that have 4 years to play 3. There'll be a mix of that. There's very few high school kids now the high school kids that enroll at mid-year, that's been a plan for a while. So very few of those, if any, will pop up.
When does this window end? Could there be more than the 11 we have now?
The portal, it ends on, I think it's January 19th it closes. This signing period, so this is a crazy deal, the way the new signing periods work. The kids that actually come on the January 4th through the 6th visit won't sign. They just enroll in school. This signing window right now goes from today until Friday, and then it closes up until February 1st. Mid-year kids can enroll in school in January without signing a letter. They sign a grant and aid when they enroll into school. So this calendar's all screwed up. It's completely different than what it used to be.
Do you think some of these guys who enter the transfer portal don't really understand what they're getting into?
Significantly, a bunch.
I heard a story about some of these. There's a decent percentage where guys they have to take a step down because they're not. They think it's hitting the lottery.
A lot of people think that there's just an abundance of scholarships, and I have one, and I'm going to get one somewhere else. The thing about there's 85 Division I scholarships on 131 football teams. Okay, you drop down to the FCS level, and they can give you a full scholarship, but the majority of them, unless you're a really, really good player, don't, because they can break them up and divvy them up and get more kids on scholarship within their program. Division II, you better be an unbelievable guy that couldn't get either academically into Division I or whatever for you to get a full scholarship, because like in the RMAC, you have, I think it's 36 full scholarships that you can break up and have 80 guys on scholarship, but some scholarships, a guy might just get books. A guy might just get tuition. A guy might get tuition and books. I mean, you can break them up and divvy them up. Division I, you get a full scholarship or you get nothing. And there's not an abundance of them out there. But, I mean, the other thing that people need to take into consideration is when you transfer from a Division I school to a Division I school, not all your credits transfer. And the opportunities that these young men have is to get an education, because not all of them, 2% of them, less than 2% of them are going to be National Football League players. So they get an opportunity at getting a degree without having to pay any money, without leaving college without any debt. Don't owe student loans, don't owe your parents, don't owe credit cards. If you continue to transfer here and then you transfer there, and all of a sudden you go and 12 units don't follow you, and 12 units, by the time you get to your senior year of eligibility, you're not really close to graduating. Now, the progress towards a degree is still hard, but now you've got classes and you transfer into a school that doesn't take whatever major you were working on. There's a lot of unintended consequences in this transfer portal that over the next 5 or 6 years are really going to rear its ugly head. And they've opened Pandora's box. There's no way of closing it, but they've got to make some adjustments to it to figure that part of it out. And we'll see.
You ever find yourself just shaking your head at some of these guys who jump in thinking, maybe we should just, the grass isn't necessarily greener.
Oh yeah, and I when we have the conversations, I give them my honest opinion. I had a great conversation with AJ Halsey, and what my opinion was. Like I said, he put himself on the map. He was on every freshman All-American team and the only Group of 5 kid. And somebody told them he needed to be somewhere where he could be seen. How are you not seen if you made every freshman All-American team at New Mexico and every Group of 5, you were the only Group of 5 kid? How did you not get seen? Pro Football Focus statistically does such unbelievable stuff. Everybody knew who AJ Halsey was. So, I made that, I told him that, but, and I'm not disappointed in AJ. I want him to be. I'm disappointed for the Lobos. But AJ's got to do what AJ feels is best for him, and I'm okay with that. I tell those kids all the time, pray about it, talk to your family about it. I don't think God's going to tell you to leave, but he might in a way. And that's okay. You got to do what's best for you, and I'm going to support you anyway. I'm going to slap you on the tail and give you a hug. And if A.J. Halsey called me today asking for advice, I'm going to give him the best advice I have. Same with Cody Moon. I don't hold grudges. As much as I don't want those guys to leave, I don't, because they're 18 to 23-year-old young men learning how to be men. And sometimes as a young man, you make mistakes. And, okay, make a mistake, get a second chance, great. Most people don't get third and fourth chances. And most people don't deserve third and fourth chances if you don't learn from the first time. They're young men. So I don't have any ill will towards them. I'm disappointed for the Lobos. I'm not disappointed for them.
I don't know
A
if
few more.
I don't know if you can say anything until walk-ons are enrolled, but Dorian Lewis tweeted that he's coming home to.
He's admitted into school, and we'll start. He's one of those. It's one of those deals that I guess I'm not technically commenting on him. But we can't comment on kids that, like the Derek Moore. We didn't get that stuff done until late this afternoon. There's stuff that goes through why we can't. But that's he tweeted it, and it. What can I say? Yes, Dorian Lewis. We were recruiting.
Yes, you can say.
There we go. That's what I'm saying about Dorian Lewis. We're recruiting Dorian Lewis, and the stuff wasn't done today. So.
Coach, there's no, so you are calling the defense now?
Yep.
There will be no drop off. It's the same system, just version 2, Danny instead of Rocky.
The exact same. And there was a lot of that during this season. So nothing's going to change on defense. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be based out of the 3-3-5. We're going to, I mean, the signals, nothing's different. I mean, I signaled all year long. So the kids won't, there's no, yes.
As a follow-up to that, Rocky, I guess, is well known as one of the innovators of the 3-3-5, or perhaps along with Joe Lee Dunn from the early 80s. Is the 3-3-5 starting to become perhaps more popular?
Significantly.
Across college football?
Significantly. And Coach Long's, so Joe Lee Dunn, who was, he used to pop through here every spring and watch our tape wherever he was. Even when he was at the place that he shouldn't have been. Even when we did that, he would pop through here and watch our tape on his way to Vegas because he loved to go to Las Vegas. And as a GA one time, I sat down in there and he looked across the room and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Coach, I'm not going to watch tape with you." He goes, "No, you're not. If I need something, I'll come get you." So I left, stood outside the window, watched through the window, see what he was watching. I mean, I wanted to learn. And he was funny. He would talk. He would do all the stuff he wanted to do. Coach Long, when he went to Oregon State, he worked for a guy named Jerry Pettibone, and he told him, "We can do something on defense that's different than what we're doing, and it'll give us a chance." And it was a combination of what Joe Lee Dunn had done here at New Mexico with the 3-3-5, and a guy by the name of Don Matthews, who he worked with in Canada, who ran the Desert Swarm, the flex defense. Well, Coach Long combined those two, and so, I mean, he hates getting credit for it. Well, I'm giving him credit because what we do on defense is really hard to defend. Ask every offensive coordinator in the country. They hate preparing for it. It's similar to the wishbone. I hate preparing for the wishbone. We do stuff differently. We can give them every look, but it's a completely different look than what they see every day in practice from whatever traditional defense they're running. We can get into every traditional defense. We just do it with different people. Okay, a strong eagle is considered a guy on the outside shoulder of the guard, a guy on the outside shoulder of the tackle, a guy on the outside shoulder of the center, and another guy on the outside shoulder of the tackle. Okay, that's considered a strong eagle. We can get to that 100 different ways. By lining up and slanting to it, running a linebacker through the B gap, all of a sudden we're in a strong eagle and it didn't look like that pre-snap. We can slant guys to it, line up in a different slant guys to it, and get into a strong eagle. We can do all those things, but they don't know what it is. And so what Coach Long did, combining Don Matthews and Coach Dunn, I mean, I saw stuff on the Godfather 3-3-5. He is. What he's done is unbelievable. But I can't stress enough what an unbelievable teacher Coach Long is. And the facts that I've got to prove it are the success of the guys that have come out from underneath him, including Bronco Mendenhall now. Now, Bronco is an unbelievable head coach and a great mentor of mine. But he learned a lot of defensive philosophy and scheme and how to call things from working with Coach Long at both Oregon State and New Mexico. So he's an unbelievable teacher.
Last one? No.
No more?
Oh, that was the last one.
Outstanding. Awesome. Gosh dang. It's supposed to be a 20-minute conversation. Well, I know there was here we go. There was a lot of people that were worried about the state of the program and worried about, exodus and mass exodus and all that. Well, you've got to have spots for people to recruit. And so there's a lot of great things going on in our program, a lot of excitement with stuff that we've got coming here in the next few days. There'll be more excitement. So Lobo football is not going anywhere. It's 2023 is going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys coming. Thanks. Go Lobos.